What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sim My Thoughts here, and it's late night on a Saturday night. I'm at work, so I just felt like I had something really interesting happen to me this week, and I wanted to share because I feel like if you're like me, um, this little piece of advice or information can help you. So at my job this week, we were having midweek reviews and stuff like that with my manager. Actually, we already had them, but like I think I was like the last person who just hadn't had the opportunity to do one or whatever. And basically, they have all the questions: How are you meeting your goals? What goals have you set for the year? The expectations that you have for yourself. Where do you see yourself as far as moving along in the company and stuff like that? And in my responses, I just basically talked about some stuff that I felt like were being swept under the rug and issues that weren't being addressed. So that's what I wrote on my mid-year review. I talked about all of the things that I was doing good. But it's just about for me when it comes to like being with management and stuff like that. I'm not the guy that goes to management about anything for real. Like if there's an issue or something that arises, I either remove myself or I try to distance myself to a point to where it's not something that affects me that much on a day-to-day basis. So I think the thing for me is that things that are expected of you, I don't necessarily need praise for. Like you come to work to do a job, so you don't necessarily need praise for doing that. However, there's times when you go above and beyond, and you feel like being that you are going above and beyond, that deserves some praise, that deserves some recognition to some degree. Like that type of stuff makes some people uncomfortable. I don't think it really makes me uncomfortable. It's just the fact that I don't put myself out there, or I don't put myself in positions like that to just be like, well, Tyler does this and he did this so amazingly well, and we would just want to give him a hand clap of praise, stuff like that. I don't really put myself in those types of situations, and I don't expect it. Um, but I think a lot of the times you can go through life, you can be doing everything that you're supposed to do, and you might not get like the praise for it, or something that you're expecting to happen for you may not happen, even though you're expecting it to. And I think the thing that I was talking to my manager about, I just told her like, for me personally, I just come to work and I do my job, and I leave. I was like, I don't really talk a lot, as I'm sure that you know. I was like, I'm just pretty much the observant type, you know what I'm saying? I do my job, and whatever else happens after then happens, you know what I'm saying? But she said something to me that I never really thought about, and I feel like these types of things can carry over into other facets of your life as well. So I think for me, and I'm gonna just tell you what she said. I'm tripping. Um, but she was like, sometimes we need to advocate for ourselves. A lot of the time, you might be doing something that deserves praise or deserves recognition, and obviously because you're not necessarily aiming for it, um, I think what I took from that is that you could be missing out on your blessing because you're not speaking up, you're not making yourself vocal, you're not putting yourself in places and rooms and situations where you can be most successful, where people can notice you and people can recognize you for your talent, and you never know where God is trying to take you or where He's trying to elevate you. Um, just because you're not necessarily looking for it, you know what I'm saying? Just because you might not be looking for it does not mean that it might not be looking for you, or your blessings might not be waiting for you to do something or trigger something in order for you to get what it is that you're trying to get or receive. Like I said, I think most people just go to work and they go to work just to do their job, provide a living for their families or their loved ones and stuff like that. And then they dip. They go home every day, they do their normal 1, 2, and they do the same thing the next day. But I think they hit home more personally for me because obviously I know I'm talented. Like, and I'm talented in anything that I do, to be quite honest. So I don't need anybody to tell me that I'm talented. But when she told me that, sometimes we have to advocate for ourselves. Sometimes we need to be the biggest advocates for ourselves. that really hit me because when I really think about it, I don't really advocate for myself like that. Like, I don't put myself in positions where people can see me. And when I say see me, not see me for, or just see me every day on a day-to-day basis, I come to work and stuff like that. When I say see me, I'm more so talking about not the potential of me, but the overall gist of who you are as a person, like everything that you bring to the table. And to be honest, I feel like that bleeds into all aspects of your life. So not just your work life, but I mean, even like relationships. If you don't put yourself out there for a person to see you, for a person to recognize all of your talents and your beauty and your stuff in its glory, then how can you fully expect for yourself to, meet that person? Or if you're looking for love or something like that, if you do not advocate for yourself, if you do not put yourself out there for that type of want and experience, I really don't feel like you're living life to your fullest extent, because there are things that are out there for you that you might just simply be missing because you aren't looking for them, or you aren't putting yourself out there in order to receive these things that you think are for you and then what God might actually have for you. I think the thing about just being a living being, obviously, I mean, if you're a biblical person, then you know what the Bible states and how you live your life and stuff like that. But one of the things that I think we also forget about is that God gives us free will. So you have free will to live your life how you want to. Now, that comes with pitfalls and stuff like that, obviously. But I'm more so speaking to, like, when you want more out of life, you got to put yourself in a situation, or put yourself in situations and in rooms, and just to be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the thing for me, like, when people see me or people that know me intimately, they'll tell you that I'm cool, calm, collected, and I'm laid back. I think sometimes I could be laid back to a fault. So when she told me sometimes we need to be the biggest advocates for ourselves, she was like, I know you do good work. I know I know what you're doing over there. Like, I know I don't have to look around and wonder about what you're doing and stuff like that. Sometimes I might not know what you're doing because, you're just over there and you're just doing your work, but you aren't, being vocal and stuff like that. And it's really because I'm not the vocal guy. But I think for me personally, I know that this isn't my last stop. The thing for me is that I know that I'm destined for greatness, and I'm destined for bigger than what my current situation is. But I gotta be able to advocate for myself. If I don't advocate for myself, who will? If you don't advocate for yourself, who will? So to my people who are laid back, cool, calm, collected, you aren't the loudest person in the room, because, I mean, obviously when you hear the term, the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest person in the room. I think that applies in a lot of aspects and in a lot of situations. But if you have good intentions, good morals, good principles, you're a solid individual, I feel like we can miss out on our blessings because we might not advocate for ourselves, or we don't put ourselves in situations where others can advocate for us. So if you don't take anything from what I just said, know that you're confident, be confident in your abilities, know that you're worth every blessing and everything that you feel like that you should be getting, but you just haven't had the opportunity to grasp onto or hold on to whatever that is or whatever that might be for you. So that really hit me this week because I know that I don't do that for myself. So if you are like me and you don't put yourself in situations to be uncomfortable, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I just encourage you to be uncomfortable. And most importantly, advocate for yourself. In the words of I forgot what movie that was, but you was kind, you was smart, and you was important. Advocate for yourself. I'm going to do the same. Y'all going to be my accountability partners.